This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Wednesday, the 25th day of January in the year 2023. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting. Here's what we're tracking tonight. Declaring that all is not well in Region 10, the district's leaders, including the regional chairman Darren Adams, have rolled into the government over the exclusion of a number of major regional projects from the national budget. Those projects include the proposed construction of the $660 million Regional Administration Office and the new bridge across the Marara River at Linden. Speaking at a joint press conference with other regional leaders this morning, the regional chairman said the 2023 budget represents another year of imposition of projects, not proposals, by the Regional Democratic Council, at the expense of the removal and non-approval of projects requested by the council on behalf of the citizens of Region 10. With the Regional Administration Office consistently being flooded and sewage backing up and overflowing into the office spaces, the council hoped that the government would have set aside funds for the construction of a new building as requested. But Mr. Adams said though the existing building is unsafe and poses serious electrical and fire hazards, the government has excluded the project from the budget.
Staff have to be working in the midst of feces and urine and water. Every day there is a seepage of water into the stores department, damaging several of the documents and stuff that were procured for schools and etc. And so we registered our concerns as it relates to the need for this building.
Adams also said the refusal of the government to pursue the completion of a new building for the RDC speaks volumes of the administration's disregard and lack of care for the people of Region 10. According to Adams, the government has no respect for the Constitution, which empowers local organs to chart their own path. The regional chairman also complained bitterly about the state of a number of roads in the region, which, despite being built in recent times, are in a state of disrepair. It was noted that sections of Linden are facing severe water problems also, and that matter is being ignored. Ms. Adams said to compound the situation, the government, instead of addressing the real issues plaguing the people of Region 10, chose to mislead the National Assembly on projects that are ongoing in the region.
A visible and irrefutable case in point is the Minister of Finance claim that at item 4.162 in his budget presentation that the government has, quote, completed the synthetic tracks in Region 6 and 10. This could not be further from the truth, since our constituents have clamored for the continuation of the project to complete our synthetic track for the past 3 years to no avail. As of today, today is the 25th. As of today, 25th of January 2023, the synthetic track at Linden remains incomplete and unavailable to the athletes in Linden and Region 10.
It is unclear what percentage of the track has been completed. Mr. Adams said though the region has won the National Schools Athletics Championships more times than any other region, and for the past 6 years in succession, it is now without even the use of the Mackenzie Sports Club. In the area of agriculture, Adams said the government did not approve the required funding for agriculture development for farmers operating at Kukwani and along the Berbice River. Weighing in on the issue, the regional vice chairman Mark Goring bemoaned the lack of funding.
We haven't seen any allocation for the continuation of the Millie Hideout Road that linked the Berbice River village of Sandhill and others to Linden, opening up farmlands for small, medium and large scale farming. The $200 million that was allocated for a continuation of the Tacoma Trail will directly benefit the 5 companies that the president brought together for the corn and soybean project will not benefit the small farmers holistically.
The regional officials said the exclusion of funds from the budget for the acquisition of a ferry to transport the crops for farmers is also noted. The Region 10 Administrative Council is one of 3 regional councils with an APNU-AFC majority. The APNU-AFC opposition has complained about the lack of resources being channeled to those regions. More news coming up in just a moment.
It's been a long time coming. Overdue, some might say. But now that it's here, it will change life forever. And it is here to stay. The future is now. Transforming Guyana into the 21st century. Introducing GTT Fiber. Experience internet connectivity like never before. Speeds you deserve at prices you can afford from a name you can trust. Sign up today. GTT Fiber is here. GTT. Together, we rise faster.
Giftland Office Max, we're all about customer satisfaction. Whether it's clothing and shoes for the ladies, gents, and kids, or for the latest electronics or hardware appliance, we're always thinking of satisfying you, our dear customers. Now you can shop online at www.giftlandofficemax.com or visit us at the Giftland Mall, where we're happy to serve each and every one of you.
Did you know that you can check your NIS contributions online? Simply visit our website at www.nis.org.gy. Click on the Create New Account button and enter the required information. An automatic email notification will be sent to acknowledge your application. Once your information is authenticated, you will receive an email within 48 hours with instructions on how to access the site. Once logged in, you can click on the My Contributions tab on the left side of the screen to view your contributions. For further information, you can call our Records Department on 225-2798 or visit your nearest NIS office.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Opposition Member of Parliament Senior Counsel Roysdale Ford today warned that the government must not ignore signs of what he terms the resurgence of execution-style killings in Guyana. Since the start of the year, there have been at least 3 execution-style killings. During his contribution to this year's budget debate this morning, Mr. Ford said that the reappearance of street executioners and extrajudicial killings are symptomatic of socioeconomic decay and the return of the breakdown in law and order. He said these indicators do not augur well for the stability of the country.
2 days before the budget presentation, Guyanese were shocked at the news of the gunning down of Delon Josiah at his home, in his bedroom, at Perseverance on the east bank of Demerara. Days earlier, Anthony Charles, called Skiddy, of Leopold Street, was gunned down in broad daylight. This assembly cannot ignore these untoward happenings in our streets, either by rogue officers and or by civilians, threatening the safety and security of us all.
Turning to the rule of law, Mr. Ford noted that the non-appointment of a substantive chancellor and the Chief Justice remains a serious issue in the country. He said the judiciary demands immediate attention and the government must treat the needs of the judiciary as a priority. Ford said the recent pronouncements by the acting chancellor of the local judiciary calling for Judicial Service Commission to be established so that more judges could be appointed to address the backlog of cases speaks to the urgency of the situation.
Mr. Speaker, as an officer of the court and a member of this House, and my fellow colleague, Honorable Member Anil Nandalal, Senior Counsel, he ought to be advised, and I do advise him, to render proper advice to the President, to ensure that the executive honors its obligations to the judicature. All are aware that justice delayed is denied, and the morale of the members of the judiciary is tied to the employment stability and the proper conditions under which they dispense justice.
Ford also addressed the issue of the cost of living, which he said is now beyond unbearable. He said the government should consider the issuance of cash grants and cash transfers to citizens across the country. Turning now to the agriculture sector, with the Guyana Sugar Corporation, Guy Suko, set to receive another $4 billion in this year's budget after receiving more than $10 billion last year. The Minister of Agriculture, Zulfikar Mustafa, today announced that the Rose Hall estate, which was closed down under the APNU AFC government, will be reopened before the end of this year.
And I want to inform the APNU AFC that later on this year, the second crop of this year, Rose Hall, one of the estates that they closed, choose to suffer that area, will be reopened and smoke will be coming out of that chimney.
Since its return to office in 2020, the PP Civic Administration has been pressing ahead with its plans to revive the problem-plagued sugar industry. Though the government has faced some hurdles with its plans and has found itself pumping billions into the industry, which has been under decline for more than a decade, the Agriculture Minister is forecasting better days ahead.
That in 2014, when we left government, the industry was producing 216,352 metric tons. It moved from 216,352 metric tons in 2014 to 92,256 metric tons in 2019. Mr. Speaker, in 2016, our 2015, Mr. Speaker, Skeldon Estate produced 39,157 metric tons.
As part of its quest to revitalize the sugar industry, the government intends to inject billions of dollars in investments into the industry. It continues to inject billions of dollars in the industry, even as the Sugar Corporation continues to operate at a loss. Last year, the industry produced 47,011 tons of sugar, which was more than 17,000 tons below the target.
It's your time to win big. Spend $2,000 or more at any Massey stores to enter our Christmas jackpot promotion. You can be the lucky winner of a brand new Nissan X-Trail. You can also win a sofa set, Samsung gas stove, motorcycle, $300,000 in cash, or a fabulous weekend trip for two. Shop now until January 31st for a chance to hit Massey's Christmas jackpot. Check out our Facebook, Instagram, or website for more details.
Anson Mini Mart is now open to serve your everyday wants and needs. Our experienced pharmacists will help you feel your best, ensuring you bring home everything you need. We guarantee you will come back for everything you want. Our team is friendly. Our shelves are stocked and ready. Hassle-free shopping for your busy life. Anson Mini Mart, everyday shopping made easy. From our home to yours. Anson Mini Mart is now open to serve you. Call 220-0505 or check out our Anson Macau Guyana Facebook page for more details.
Leader of the Alliance for Change and Opposition Member of Parliament Kemraj Ramjatan told the National Assembly this morning that there are several clever schemes emerging in Guyana today, where only a select few are the beneficiaries of large government contracts, especially in the construction sector. He described the sector as the epicenter of corruption in Guyana. During his contribution to this year's budget debates, Mr. Ramjatan said while he is not against the country's infrastructural development, he believes that a massive allocation in the sector is not only for the development of the country, but to also make those close to the government wealthy.
Mr. Speaker, when you have the construction industry having so much money poured into it, when you have so much money being poured into the construction, rule of thumb, it is a certain set of contractors who are friends and family, will always be the beneficiaries.
Mr. Ramjatan's opening statement on contract corruption was met with loud heckling from the government benches. He did not seek protection from the speaker, but went on to say that his accusations have touched a nerve since several persons in government are well aware of what he's talking about. He said there must be a closer look and proper oversight of the construction sector in the country.
Mr. Speaker, it has all the ingredients conducive for corruption. There are so many uncertainties in the execution that it is possible to draw it is impossible to draw what so many economists refer to as the complete contract. You can't get a complete contract, let's say, for that harbor bridge as to what and what it will be at the cost. You cannot have, for some of the roads in Guyana, you cannot have a complete contract as to what it will cost. And that is why so many roads are being built, and next day, literally, they're breaking and apart.
The opposition leader said the construction industry also creates an unfair political climate where patronage and gifts in exchange for contracts can be the order of the day.
And you know what the corruption, especially in that construction industry, does? It creates what is called an undermining of the political process. And it enables patronage to triumph over honest politics.
Since taking office, the government has been handing out billions of dollars in construction contracts all across the country. In many instances, the contracts are given to new companies and companies with little or no experience in construction. Entertainers, sports promoters, motor racers, and businessmen with close association to the governing party have all been listed as big-time beneficiaries of government construction contracts. Billions of dollars have been allocated in this year's budget for major construction contracts. Spending a small portion of his allotted time dealing with issues within his portfolio, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Hugh Todd, focused much of his budget presentation to point out the shortcomings of the former government with respect to the economy and the treatment of citizens. The Foreign Minister read a number of testimonials he said were from citizens of his hometown of Linden. He said many citizens of the bauxite community are satisfied with the work of the current government. Todd said the PPP is doing well in government, and he accused the APNU-AFC coalition of having a record of curtailing the rights and freedoms of citizens, as well as leading a police state, something that the PPP administration has been accused of. According to the foreign minister, the incumbent administration will continue to respect the rights of citizens, irrespective of whichever political party they support. Opposition members of parliament loudly heckled him and reminded him that a number of persons, including opposition figures, were hauled before the courts by the current government under the cybercrime laws, while hundreds were dismissed from the public service when the government changed 2 years ago. But Todd stood his ground and said there is now progress taking place across the country. As it relates to the foreign affairs sector, Mr. Todd said the country now has a positive image in the international arena, and the government will continue to make provisions on behalf of citizens. He did not outline any new foreign policy position of the government and shied away from addressing some of the diplomatic mishaps that took place under his watch in the past 2.5 years. Let's tell you now that hours after a wanted bulletin was issued for him, police arrested 65-year-old Dearnarine Saw, also known as Boise, this morning for the murder of his ex-partner Nazalain Mohammed. In an early morning statement, the police force's public relations department said Saw was arrested in an abandoned house at Mahaika on the east coast of Demerara in the wee hours of this morning. The arrest followed tips provided to investigators following the issuance of that wanted bulletin yesterday. Saw is expected to face the courts for the murder of 47-year-old Nazalain Mohammed. The two once shared a relationship, but Mohammed had moved on with someone else. On Monday afternoon, the woman's lifeless body was found in a canal at Hope Lowlands on the east coast of Demerara. She was last seen alive the same morning when she left her house to visit a brother who lives in that area. Her ex-partner emerged as the main suspect after the dead woman's son told investigators that during the course of the day, he received a call from his mother's phone, and the voice on the other line was that of Saw. The son said he heard his mother screaming and demanding her phone in the background, and that was the last time he heard her voice. The woman was discovered with multiple injuries, including slashes to her abdomen, neck, and face. Her current partner is a fisherman who was out at sea at the time of the murder. Investigations are ongoing tonight.
Ansem Mini Mart is now open to serve your everyday wants and needs. Our experienced pharmacists will help you feel your best, ensuring you bring home everything you need. We guarantee you will come back for everything you want. Our team is friendly. Our shelves are stocked and ready. Hassle-free shopping for your busy life. Ansem Mini Mart, everyday shopping made easy. From our home to yours. Ansem Mini Mart is now open to serve you. Call 220-0505 or check out our Ansem Guyana Facebook page for more details.
Food Max Supermarket, located on the ground floor of the Giftland Mall, is your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. We stock a variety of imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce, and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up, fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region, the U.S. Treasury Department has granted a license to Trinidad and Tobago to develop a major gas field located in Venezuelan territorial waters, a senior Biden administration official said today, marking a further easing of some sanctions on Venezuela. The license issued at Trinidad's request and intended to enhance Caribbean regional energy security means the island nation can resume doing business related to the Dragon gas field with Venezuela's heavily sanctioned state-run oil company, the senior U.S. official told the Reuters news agency. Speaking to Reuters under condition of anonymity, the official said that the Maduro regime will not be permitted to receive any cash payments from the project, and that all remaining U.S. sanctions will be unchanged and still be enforced. The state-run oil company in Venezuela has found reserves of 4.2 trillion cubic feet in the Dragon field on the Venezuelan side of its maritime border with Trinidad. The project was headed for production over a decade ago, but was stalled over lack of capital and partners, as well as those sanctions. The Trinidad and Tobago-based Caribbean Public Health Agency is urging regional countries that arboviral diseases such as dengue, chikungunya, and Zika are still circulating in the Caribbean. In a statement, CARFA said that it wanted to emphasize the importance of prevention and control measures to reduce the transmission of these viruses, and that the agency remains committed to strengthening public health systems for early detection and response to emergence, re-emergence, and spread of those infections. The organization said member states must maintain a strategic approach to surveillance and sample collection and submission to increase the chances of early identification of infections. Carver said given the increase in regional and international travel to the Caribbean and the presence of those virus-carrying mosquitoes which are endemic to the region and transmit dengue, chikungunya and Zika, it is urging member states to strengthen routine surveillance for undifferentiated fever in their communities. And finally tonight, international news. The US will send 31 powerful battle tanks to Ukraine, joining Germany in sending the vehicles to support the fight against the Russian invasion. The decision to deliver the Abrams tanks was announced just hours after Germany said it would send 14 of its Leopard 2 tanks to the battlefield. Berlin also cleared the way for other European countries to send German-made tanks from their own stocks. Ukraine has lobbied Western allies to send the military equipment for months. It hailed the twin announcements as a turning point and that would allow its military to regain momentum and take back occupied territory, almost a year after Moscow invaded. It also said the tanks could help deter a potential Russian offensive in the spring. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.